Hello friends, welcome back to Digitalk. So in this session, we are going to cover the introduction to Ansible. Okay. So before that one, before I explain the basics of the Ansible, what is Ansible? Okay, we'll talk about the challenges that we have currently in our IT infrastructure environment. Okay, what are the challenges are there? Okay, and once we have a complete clarity on the challenges that we are facing or we face, okay, then you can able to better understand then what is the use of the Ansible, what kind of things that we can do with the help of Ansible. Okay, so we are creating a Udemy course for Ansible as well, which may be launched in next couple of days or in a week of a time. Okay, so this session will discuss about the just a basic introduction to Ansible. Okay, you can say this is a session for the beginners if you do not have any idea about the Ansibles. Okay, so the very first thing, Ansible is an automation tool. Okay, and this is an open source tool. That means you don't need to pay anything for this one. You can easily download it freely. Okay, and that we can use for the automation. Now, what kind of a automation? So before that, let us talk about the different kind of challenges. And before the challenges, we'll try to learn with a real life scenario. Okay, real life scenario. Now, what is real life scenario? Let me ask you the process to prepare tea. Okay, so for example, you are going to prepare a tea. Now, what is the process for preparing a tea? Okay, so it's a very basic things when we prepare a tea. What we need the water for that, right? We need the milk, we need the sugar, and then we need the tea leaves. These are the some important ingredients that we use in the tea, some basic ingredients, right? Now, whenever we are going to create a tea, okay, so we select the different quantity of water, milk, sugar, and the tea leaves, right? Now, if someone else is going to prepare the tea, okay, that person may are going to may take different amount of water, different quantity of milk, different quantity of the sugar, and similarly the different tea leaves. Okay, so that means if the multiple different peoples are going to create a tea, okay, then the taste of the tea is definitely going to be different, right? Because the taste of a tea is completely different on the quantity of the ingredients that we use when we prepare the tea, right? So what are the challenges in specifically in this particular case where we have a different peoples are creating the tea? Okay, maybe you are in an organization, in an office where you have some persons, those are who are responsible for preparing the tea, then definitely you are going to feel that the taste of the tea is going to be different. Even the same person is preparing the tea repeatedly, or maybe if some different persons are there, okay, in your pantry, then definitely the one that some of the day you will feel the taste is completely different. Some day you will feel the taste is good, but maybe someday you will feel the taste is bad. Okay, it is completely different, depend on the quantity or ratio of the ingredients that we use in the tea, right? So now what are the challenges that we are going to face in this situation? The very first is different taste, right? It is completely depend on the quantity that is person is going to take while preparing the tea. There could be a chance of human mistake. Maybe possible that some person will forget to add the sugar. Maybe possible that someone has the small quantity of sugar. Maybe someday you will feel that the quantity of sugar is very high. Someday you will feel the quantity of milk is very less in comparison with the water. Sometime you will feel the tea leaves are less, or maybe the quantity of tea leaves are very high. So there could be a chance of the human mistakes when we prepare the teas. Okay, and then no standard recipe. So as I said, every person is using the different quantities of the ingredients based on his own experience, right? So there is no standard for the recipe. Then time waste it, right? Because every time you are going to follow the same process, we have a different kind of a chef in the kitchen there every time, and every chef is going to follow the same process. They are doing just guesswork based on their experience while preparing the tea. There is no standard mechanism in place, right? And definitely you are going to get a quality issue. So as I said, someday you will feel the taste is good, but someday you will feel the taste is very bad. This completely depend on the kind of a ingredient that we are going to use in the tea, right? So these are the different issues that we are going to face in this situation, right? Similar kind of a challenges we have in the IT infrastructure environment as well. Okay. For example, when we say about that, we have the multiple environment: development, testing, quality, pre-prod, then prod. Okay, in every environment you have to set up the infrastructure. You need to install the hardwares, virtual machines. Okay, then you need to install the softwares. Then you need to configure the software. You have to install the multiple applications, the dependencies, jar file, the OS level dependency files, right? And then we have a continuous support of the application. So specifically in this situation, okay, we face the similar kind of issues that we have discussed here. Okay, because we have a multiple members in the team, and all the team members, some are going to configure the development environment, some may be configuring the testing environment, some may be configuring the other environments. Okay, and every person is following the same manual process every time. Okay, just like we were preparing the tea here and by the different persons, and when the tea prepared by the different persons, then definitely you will going to get a different taste of the tea. Along with that, these kind of challenges. Similarly, if you have multiple people in our organization, those are working in the same stuff that we need to follow in the multiple environment, then you may feel there is a difference in the setup of the infrastructure, maybe in terms of the configurations, or maybe in terms of the certain paths that you need for the configuration of your applications and software. So there may be some other challenges that sometimes we get a problem that some code is working in the development, but when it moved to the testing environment, it is not working. Or maybe sometime it is working development and testing fine, but in quality it get failed, right? So these kind of issues that we feel just because of the reason, there could be a chance of the human mistakes as well when we configuring the infrastructure and then softwares, configurations, integration in the multiple environments. And what we are doing here, we are doing the same repetitive tasks, okay, in each and every environment, just like we were preparing the tea, okay, manually every time. Right. So these kind of a challenges, as I said, we have the infra environment as well. So that means we have a repeatedly follow the same process. Like if I talk about the infra, okay, and you are going to create the virtual machines on the cloud, then you need to log in with the cloud portal, right? After you log into a cloud portal, then you have to select the VM creation option. Then we provide a different input, like what is the storage required, what is the number of virtual CPU required, what is the RAM required, which operating system image which we have to use. So we have to provide the multiple inputs, and then maybe the networking configurations as well. And based on that, it create the virtual machine for you, right? So if we are continuously following the same manual process, log into the portal, then select the configuration, then configure the machine, then it is a repetitive task that we are following, which is not feasible. It is time taking, it is wasting your time. There could be a chance of the human mistake. Okay, maybe that one of the virtual machine you get with a different configuration, some other machine you will get with a different configurations due to manual mistakes, right? And it is going to consume your lot of efforts. Correct. And same thing happen for the software as well. If we need to install the software in all the virtual machines, and then we need to do the configurations and integrations. So you have to follow the same thing in each and every machine. There is a chance of the human mistakes as well there as well. Correct. And if you have to do this for some small unit of the configurations, for example, if I say you need to configure virtual machine, four virtual machines, or six or five virtual machines, so it is easy to configure from the cloud console. Okay, but if I'm talking about you have to configure the 40 virtual machines, maybe you need to configure the 100 virtual machines, and after that you need to install the software, for example web servers in each and every machine. You need to deploy your website on each and every virtual machine. You need to do the multiple configurations. So it's not feasible for you to log into 40 or 100 or more than 100 machines and then doing the same task, installing the web servers, installing your website, then doing the manual configurations. Is not feasible, right? So for that you need a certain standard process in place. And what is the standard process? It is exactly like we have in the case of a sugar as well. So to eliminate all these kind of issues, what we have discussed in this, what is the solution for that? we can go for the tea making machine, right? So when we have a tea machine making in place, then we can set the level of each and every ingredient. How much water we can put in a single cup of tea, what is the quantity of milk, what is the quantity of sugar, and what is the quantity of tea leaves. So all these quantities we can set accordingly in the machine, and every time you are going to prepare the tea, it is going to use the same quantity, right? So that means the task will be easier, right? The taste will going to get the same. There is no chance of human mistake. You have a standard process in place. That means you have a standard recipe of preparing the tea, right? And you will not face any of the quality issues. So all these challenges are going to be eliminated if we are going to use the tea machine in place of the manual process. Similarly here, whatever the task that we have discussed so far here, okay, so if we are going to use certain automation tool in place, right, so it is going to solve all of our challenges what we have discussed here so far, right? That means in terms of infra challenges, software challenges, configuration challenges, and regular support as well, right? Because when you are in regular support, then again you have to do a continuous deployment of your applications, continuous configuration changes, the scaling of your environment as well, which is one of the important, right? For example, today you have a 20 virtual machines, tomorrow user base has been increased, and you need to add 20 more virtual machines. So then it is not possible or not is feasible to again create the 20 virtual machines from the scratch and then again do the same set of configurations of software, right? So you need certain kind of a solution which can spin up your all the virtual machines along with the softwares, okay, within a couple of a minutes or maybe within an hour of a time, not more than that. Correct. So for to deal with all of these challenges, which is specifically related with the infra along with the software, okay, so your Ansible is a IaaC tool as well, which is called the infra as a code. Okay, because we can configure the different kind of infrastructure like the network configurations, virtual machine configurations with the help of Ansible. Along with that, we can do the automation, end-to-end automation of the installation of the softwares and then different kind of configurations of your environments. Okay, so everything we can do with the help of Ansible. Okay, now how it works, I will just give you a small idea of the architecture, how it works, how the Ansible is works. Okay, so for that, let me open a new whiteboard. Okay, so what I said, Ansible is an automation tool which we use for the automation of the different kind of infra configurations, your software configurations, and the different kind of regular maintenance activities as well. Right. So how exactly it is work? So in Ansible, we it work on based on the control and manage node structure, control and managed node architecture or structure, right? So what does it mean? We have a machine which act as a controller. Okay, so what we do, we install the Ansible here. Okay, and whatever the automation scripts that we write for the Ansible, okay, we are going to write everything here in this controller machine. So this is a dedicated machine for your Ansible automation, right? Now apart from that, suppose that we have to configure the web server in 4 virtual machines, right? So suppose these are our 4 web servers, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Our requirement is to install and configure web server on all 4 machines in a single go. That means installation of the web server, then deployment of the website, and then start the web servers, right? So for this one, these target nodes are called the managed node, right? So what we do, as I said, all the automation we write on the Ansible host, which is called the controller. Okay, and during the execution, your logic is pushed to each and every managed node. Okay, so now what will happen? Suppose that we have downloaded our web server on the controller machine. Okay, and along with that, we have a multiple other scripts and website or other configurations are here. So when we are going to run the automation Ansible on the controller, it will push all the code and the scripts in each and every target, and then going to install and configure there in that particular manage node, and this is happened with the help of SSH. Okay, so that means we need to configure the passwordless SSH between controller and the manage node, so that your manage node can reach to your controller can reach the manage node. Okay, and the important thing here, we don't need any Ansible agent on any of the manage node. Otherwise, what happen in this kind of architecture, there are multiple tools are available in the market. Okay, where when we install the controller kind of a the component, then for each and every managed node we need a certain kind of a agent to be running, and that agent take care of the installation configuration of the managed node. But here we don't need any kind of agent, we just need one machine which will act as a controller. Okay, and then it is going to kick off all the configurations in the target machines. The only dependency is that you have to install the Ansible plus Python on each and every managed node. Okay, which is just a couple of minutes of a task to install the Ansible and Python in each and every machine. So Ansible is fine, but why Python? The reason is that your Ansible, what I said, is an open source tool which we use for the automation, and this Ansible tool is developed in the Python language, and that's why it has a dependency on the Python. So you have to install the Ansible along with the Python and each and every node. That means in the controller node, along with that in the manage node, right? And then we write all the automations in the Ansible node, which is pushed to your each and every manage node during the execution of the playbook. Okay, so whatever the logic that we write it in a playbook, and we execute the playbook, okay, which render the configuration in the manage node, right? So this is the introduction to your Ansible. What are the challenges that we have been facing in the IT infrastructure, how Ansible is going to help in that case, and a basic overview of the Ansible architecture, how it works. Okay, so we'll launch our course on the Ansible on Udemy very soon, and along with that we are going to post multiple other videos on the Ansible in our Digitalk YouTube channel soon. Thank you.